Welcome back to the Google Ads Accessibility webinar. In the previous session, we heard from Tina about why companies should care about accessibility and inclusive design. Now that we've covered why it's important, let's talk about how you can help build a company culture that supports your ongoing accessibility efforts. From there, we'll talk about how your team can get started. I want to start by saying a huge thank you to you, sitting right there. Wherever you are in the world, you're facing something, whether it's a beautiful new opportunity or a scary new obstacle. You keep on prevailing. You're using all of your abilities to overcome your challenges and still making time to learn about how to help people using accessibility. You are a hero, and I wanted to remind you of that before we got started today. Thank you. Now, what in the world are we learning today? First, we'll cover who is your accessibility coach? Then, what is accessibility's value proposition? Then we'll talk about how you can build an accessibility culture and get your team started. Where can you learn more? And finally, what can you do right now? Your accessibility coach? That's me. My name is Eboni Freeman. I am a Google Ads search solutions consultant and accessibility speaker. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in Boulder, Colorado now, and I've spoken in Playa Vista, California, Vietnam, and now virtually here with you today. How did I end up doing this? Well, I founded Ability Enabled, a software as a startup SaaS company aiming to create more inclusive working environments for people with disabilities back in 2017. It was a good fun and great learning. In 2019, I became the first project manager of Boulder Startups Weekend's first Accessibility in Tech. Exciting stuff. And now I'm an accessible event management coach. Why? Because I've experienced inaccessible work environments. I currently have lupus and fibromyalgia, and in the future, I hope for a world with economic opportunities for all. What's my experience with accessibility culture and inclusive design at Google? Thank you for asking. In spring 2018, I developed a team-wide accessibility education competition. I should have invited you. In spring 2019, I spoke at Women Who Code on accessible communication, collaboration, and product creation. In fall 2019, I consulted on UX research for a global app marketplace team that you might have heard of. Now, enough about me. Time for accessibility's value proposition. Accessibility means different things to different people. The definition we'll be working on with right now is when websites and software are properly designed and coded so that people of all abilities can use them. This concept focuses on enabling access for people with disabilities. However, research and development in accessibility brings benefits to everyone. Have you ever used a curb cut when you're walking down the road? Quite helpful. Who are the people with accessibility needs? 1 billion people, approximately, have a permanent disability. That's 15% of the world. 1 in 5 people in the US alone will experience a disability in their lives. Disability is one of the only diversity components that crosses all population divisions. Gender, age, ethnicity, do you have one? Do you have all 3? The beautiful thing about accessibility crossing all diversity components is that there is a place for everyone to pitch in. Because accessibility is a team sport. For user experience specialists, you can help define clear user journeys. For engineers, you can help elevate product specification updates and adjustments. For quality assurance analysts, you can enhance product testing insights. For business leads, you can augment frameworks for short-term gains and long-term success. And together, you can accomplish your goals in a way that supports users and customers of all abilities. That sounds like a good team. But how is that team going to build an accessibility culture? Networking, collaborating, launching, and scaling. You'll notice all of these are gerunds because they're constantly going on. We've got to keep it moving. We'll start with networking because those are the first interactions. Here are a few do's. Do join your company's business resource groups, BRGs for short. Remember, disabilities flow across all people groups. Do hold happy hours and networking nights at accessible locations. Markers of accessibility include available seating and quiet spaces. Don'ts. Don't ask people in the office if they have a disability. This is improper and illegal. Don't assume someone's ability. Offer opportunities to all. Now, this session is recorded, so I really encourage you to pause the video here and read these out loud. I'll even give you 10 seconds to do it right now. Did you do it? Do you regret it? We'll keep going. Here's a quick quiz. It's Thursday night in 2019 and you are networking. Which of these locations has a more inclusive layout for attendees of all abilities? Here's 5 seconds to think it over. What do you think? The image on our right shows a mixture of seating, standing, and hidden breakout rooms for anyone who might be feeling fatigued. Let us all aim to hold events in spaces like this. Great job participating. High five. Now for perceived ability. What are some of the differences, for example, working styles and physical abilities, between these two designers? I'll admit this question is tricky. Here's 10 seconds to think it over. And remember, you can pause this video if you need more time. Answer: we have no idea, but with kindness in our heart and curiosity in our mind, we should feel empowered to discuss general thoughts about working style preferences, not disability status, with people in the office. Who knows where a conversation can take you? Now that we've discussed networking, let's look at collaboration through the ideas of 4 different employees: UX Eunice, Engineer Elba, QA Quinton, and Business Lead Bao. UX Eunice might choose to look at accessible collaboration in 3 phases: ideate, define, and research. For ideation, UX Eunice might create personas that acknowledge different abilities. The following are great starting points: vision loss, attention challenges, and manual dexterity. For define, UX Eunice might add accessibility considerations into use case scenarios. For example, in a mobile gaming app, how would a user with low vision select their next level? For research, UX Eunice might search for market research reports that assess diversity broadly. Remember, Race, gender, and socioeconomics are but a few pieces of the larger UX research pie. If you're UX Eunice and your team, what do you think? Here's an overview of 4 accessibility persona categories: blind or low vision, deaf or hard of hearing, motor or mobility impairment, cognitive or learning impairment. On your next customer journey map, remember to think about what design choices can motivate users across all the ability spectrum to achieve their goals with your product every time. With that in mind, let's meet Steven to really understand the lives you could affect. If you prefer to read on your own, please mute my voice until you see the slide progress. If you prefer to hear Steven's persona read aloud, keep the volume up. Steven is 38 years old. He attended art school. He's a graphic artist in a small ad agency. He likes his iPad, iPhone, MacBook Pro, and he's good at computer work. In Steven's own words, he says, "My only disability is that everyone doesn't sign." Steven is a native American Sign Language user. Steven can speak, read lips, and use multiple communication platforms. For aptitude, Steven is good with graphic tools, prefers visuals to text, and poor spelling makes searching more difficult for him. For attitude, Steven can be annoyed about accessibility, like a lack of captions. For assistive technology, Steven uses sign language, CART, captions, and video chat. How might you readjust your product to ensure Steven can complete all of your outlined customer user journeys? Take 10 seconds to think this over. Great job. To further understand the lives you could impact, let's take a few seconds to read Leia's user persona. If you prefer to read on your own, please mute my voice until you see the slide progress. If you prefer to hear Leia's user persona read aloud, keep the volume up. Leia is 35 years old. You didn't see the slide change. That's craziness. Well, luckily you're here with me now. Leia is 35 years old. She has a master's degree. She writes for a trade publication and she works from home. In Leia's own words, she says, "No one gets that this really is a disability." For ability, Leia has fatigue from fibromyalgia. She uses a trackball and a special keyboard. For aptitude, Leia is your average user. For attitude, Leia wishes people understood how hard it can be for her to make it through the day. Have you ever had a hard day? No one's looking. You can raise your hand. For assistive technology, Leia uses a split keyboard. She's a power keyboard user. And Dragon naturally speaking software. How might you adjust your most critical features to ensure Leia can complete all of your outline user journeys? Take 10 seconds to think this over. Another great job. High five yourself. Now let's say goodbye to UX Eunice and hello to Engineer Elba. Elba focuses on examining and tooling. Elba takes a look at user feedback reports related to accessibility. Your legal department and customer support teams may be your new best friends here. For tooling, here are just a few examples of accessible developer resources. Oracle's Java Accessibility Guide, Adobe's Accessibility Support Report, and IBM's Accessibility Developer Guidelines. Oracle, Adobe, IBM. Now, what would it look like if your engineering team aimed for inclusive product development? Would you make sure your website uses accessibility first ARIA labels for clickable elements? Would your landing page be navigable without a mouse? Would all tutorial videos have captions? Would you be able to find what you're looking for and accomplish what you're aiming for, regardless of your disability status? Really ruminate on that last one with me. Would you be able to find what you're looking for and accomplish all of your goals with the product, regardless of your disability status? ARIA stands for Accessible, Rich Internet Applications. Based on what you've learned so far today, what are other words that could stand in for the A, R, I, and final A? I can think of a few. What about you? Could you share it with someone nearby? Well, in the meantime, we'll say goodbye to Engineer Elba and hello to QA Quinton. QA Quinton focuses and listens in. For focus, you can try completing your product's top user journeys with only a keyboard. Would you be able to complete your goal if you needed to tab up and down everywhere? How would that feel? For listening in, now try completing your product's user journeys without the screen. If you're a Mac user, use your built-in screen reader called VoiceOver in Safari. Go to your favorite website and give it a spin by pressing the Command and F5 keys on your keyboard to turn on VoiceOver. Then VoiceOver will start reading aloud. Please pause here for 3 minutes to try this out. I believe in you. If you want bonus points, time yourself. If you want double bonus points, do it twice. Did you get faster each time? Did you get slower? Understandable. Accessibility is a journey that we're all on. Here's an image to keep in your mind the next time you're testing the accessibility of your website. No mouses or mice. Finally, let's collaborate with business lead Bao. Bao thinks in terms of marketing, sales, and customer support, the full funnel. For marketing, during marketing research, test your materials with people of all abilities. Moreover, when creating advertisements, show people of diverse abilities using your product. In sales, use thoughtful, people-first language. Yes, Lily has a disability. No to disabled Lily. In customer support, try to offer more than one option for people seeking customer support. Chat, email, phone, in-store consultations offer variety and accessibility. Nike has done some really interesting work in the accessible advertisement space. This sports gear ad says, if they think your dreams are crazy, show them what crazy dreams can do. Just do it. What is your crazy dream for your company's accessibility culture? Just do it. Now that we know effective collaboration across people of all abilities and all divisions of the company makes our ideas better, businesses stronger, and lives fuller, what's next? It's time for a review. We'll start with networking. Our key takeaways are accessible locations, language, and ability assumptions. For collaboration, our key takeaways here are inclusive, user research, tooling, testing, and user engagement. Let's take a second to think about what we've learned and how they might apply to those keywords. I think you got it. Now, what else must we do to build an accessibility culture? Well, we got to launch and we've got to scale. For launching, let's think about what it means for all new and future users to have a shot at experiencing your fantastic products. For scaling, we'll think about how to increase your accessibility impact at the company. Sounds good, right? Launch. Now it's time to launch. The what? You might have heard some of this before. Share accessible launch materials. If you're working with digital only materials, make sure they can be accessed without a mouse and with a screen reader. Could Stephen and Leia access your materials? If not, let's think about that. If you're sharing your launch materials in person, ensure that your materials use ability friendly language. No, disabled Lily. Yes, Lily has a disability. Think back to earlier in the presentation. Are there other ways to boost the inclusivity of your launch materials? Are there other ways that your company is boosting the accessibility of launch materials? Maybe you should give that person a high five, figuratively or virtually. Launching the where. Hold launch parties or events at accessible locations. A few accessibility markers are available seating, available quiet spaces, bonus for disability friendly parking spaces, double bonus if there are ramps available. Can you think of anything else? Could you whisper it to yourself right now? Let's take 10 seconds to think and whisper. Give me a thumbs up. Good job. Now that we've collaborated, networked, launched, it's time to scale this accessibility culture. We'll start with you personally and then think about your team and then your company. Personally, you can take an accessibility course this summer. For example, edX has a free Introduction to Web Accessibility course. Did I just say free, introduction, and accessibility? What a great summer! Now I know what you're wondering. Is it possible to scale further? Yes. For your team, you can take notes on accessibility blockers and boosters during your project work and share with your teammates. If you want to go further. Now I know what you're really thinking. I can't possibly scale my accessibility impact further. It's not possible. It can't be imagined. But yes, it can. You can go company-wide by joining and actively participating in your company's accessibility business resource group. If you don't have one, start it. Let's review how to build an accessible culture and how your team can get started. Begin with networking. Make sure everyone has a seat at the table and that everyone can access the table. Next, move to collaboration. Accessibility is a team sport, so it's time for you to step into the power of your position. Then, we're ready to launch, ensuring that all current and future users have the chance to experience the magic of your product. Finally, you can scale up by thinking at the personal, team, and company-wide level. You can make waves for accessibility across your industry. Now that's something to write home about. Now that we've built an accessibility culture and discussed how your team can get started, let's identify where we can learn more. Now, if you're non-technical, you can read bit.ly/Beyond Access Guidebook. I know the author. Or you can search accessibility on entrepreneur.com. They've got great articles of varying length. Whether you've got 2 minutes to spare or 25, there's something for you. Now, what if you're technical? Well, you might want to read Microsoft's Engineering Software for Accessibility ebook. It's good stuff. Or you could search accessibility on github.com. The frameworks, the repositories, there's so much. Both are overflowing with cool ideas and even cooler people, just like you. Now, after all of this, you don't want to leave accessibility at work. You want to take it everywhere. You're a good one. Well, wherever you are in the world, by volunteering in your community, you can make an impact for people of all abilities. Remember, disabilities cross all population segments. Now you know how to build an accessibility culture. You know how to get your team started. You even know where to learn more. You're leveling up so quick you'll be on this side of the recording soon enough. But what do you do right now? Today, you can take notes on the rest of today's presentations and share them with your coworkers. This week, you can join your company's business resource groups. And this year, you can advocate for accessible events and event locations. Now, please join hands, figuratively, hearts and minds, with people across your company and industry to build a more inclusive work culture for all people. You can do it. You've got some questions for me? Thank you very much. Fill in bit.ly/Google UX Accessibility Culture Survey 2020. I'd love it if you filled it in. Thank you for your time. My name is Eboni Freeman. I'm a global accessibility consultant and speaker here in Google, Boulder. And now we shall go forth and help accessibility shine everywhere we go. Let's give a good hearty clap for your next speaker, Zhu. Have a great day.